So last week, the Bank of England increased their interest rates to the highest level since 2009, 1%. We've also warned of a UK recession this year. So yeah, I thought I'd introduce, bring this article into it because I don't think we've spoken much about any economics or anything.
No.
So as you know, inflation is through the roof at the moment. As you can see, slide into recession this year, above 10%. What's really getting me a little bit annoyed is the fact that they're blaming, and it is a impacting inflation, but they're blaming higher energy prices for the cause of inflation. But it's not just the higher energy prices; it's the fact the Bank of England printed so much money during COVID that we're seeing inflation. So even if we had normal energy prices and the Ukraine war wasn't going on, we'll still be seeing inflation right now.
Yeah.
I think from the top of my head, I think the government printed 25% of the money supply
Fucking hell.
of the UK's money supply in 2020, which is insane.
Is that not spoken about in this FT article now?
No one. The Bank of England aren't mentioning it. It's not being mentioned on any sort of media sources I've been reading. I don't understand why it's sort of being hushed.
That is weird. It's all just being put onto the energy prices then.
Yeah, so it's all just being put on the energy crisis, which I think, I don't know, like the conspiracy theorist inside me feels like.
Is there even an energy crisis, or is it?
Are they trying to hide something? I think there is an energy crisis, but then it makes me sort of question the war. Like, this is like high conspiracy theory stuff, but like, if there are like powers that be, are they all communicating with each other? Because every country's printed so much money. So have they communicated with each other? Now everything's opened back up. Should we start a war with the biggest energy suppliers in Europe and push the blame on them?
Yeah.
Questionable. Like, it's just a theory. Obviously, I'm not saying that's what's happening, and I don't want to take away from the fact that people in Ukraine are dying, and people in Russian soldiers are dying as well. Ukrainian soldiers, Ukrainian civilians. Like, I don't want to take away from that. Like, I think it's horrible what's going on, but I'm just saying, like, all the powers that be, are they planning something? You just never know. But anyway, I don't want to really go down the conspiracy theory route.
Oh, to be fair with you, I mean, the conspiracy route isn't all bad, because the more I think about conspiracies than when I did when I was younger and in my past, like, you just used to try and hunt for like the most crazy conspiracy theory you can. It's more for entertainment, like, wow. It's more of like it's more of like just fiction. You get entertained by it. This is war, something that could be happening, and then there's a bit of like. But then the internet's progressed, as we've all got older and started to think more, a lot of the conspiracies that we used to use as entertainment back then have either come out or you've sort of pushed into a direction where actually it probably isn't a conspiracy. It more than likely is true, just with the way everything's been going at the moment. So what I'm noticing is when you've got a conspiracy and it's sort of a multi-dimensional one where you've got loads of different sources from loads of different places that are all pointing the finger at one conspiracy, which is the powers that be. I think that's how you said it. It's, to me, it's kind of inevitable that is what's going on, because there's that many things out there that point in that direction. And
but a part of me like thinks, say Putin and Biden were actually working together to build something for the world, and all these other high-powered power people in government, like billionaires, they're all working together. Surely, like, if you had a group of people like with that much power and control, they're not going to get along with each other as a group, as a collective.
Yeah.
Make everything work the way it's worked.
Unless there's one power that is sort of managing all of these people, maybe. Or then you get conspiracy if you're talking about like a god or a
That's
devil.
not conspiracy, is it? It's just ideas. Like, we're just throwing it out there. Like, you just. I feel like at the moment there's so many questions that people have, but they're not. No one knows what the truth actually is, and I don't think anyone will ever know what the truth is. But I think it's good to think about what the truth could be, and just have a speculation. Right? It's just pure speculation. I'm not saying I believe that there's one guy controlling all these powerful people. Well, I'm not saying that there's a group of powerful people. I just like to think about, would it actually be that, like, could it actually work?
Yeah, that's actually true what you say there. But how?
Or is it just a series of events that just happened randomly? And that's just the way the world is.
Which can be highly likely as well.
But going back to the, like, this inflation stuff, something smells just a bit fishy, in my opinion. Like, maybe the press have found something to, like, hide the inflation, and they're just using this and jumping on it and saying, "Oh, it's just the energy crisis. It's nothing to do." Like, they're not even mentioning the government printing money.
Yeah. So my question to that would be: so you got energy crisis that can end, right? The crisis can come to an end. How do they? I don't know if even anyone would know, but how would they fix the issue of them printing? Was it 25% of the UK's cash flow they've printed? So how do you? Is there a way they can come back from that? Because the way I'm looking at this is, if they are hiding it, then it's to give the public hope that this can end, and it can end steadily over time, but it'll still end. But whereas, have they actually fucked up that bad that there is no end, and the recession is going to cock up?
It's pretty fucked because this has been going on since 2008.
Yeah,
money printing. I'm not sure how much money they've printed. You could probably have a look at how much they printed USD. Say, just type in how much money has the Federal Reserve printed since 2008, and there'll be a graph, and it's pretty shocking. But the thing is, with America, it's a bit different because every country needs to have some reserve of USD to be able to buy oil.
Yeah.
So whatever they print gets spread out throughout the world. So it doesn't really impact inflation as much in the home country because it'll only impact it if the money supply was in the US.
Right, okay.
You get it?
Yeah. Let me get this on.
So because they have the ability to spread out around the world, inflation in their own nation is not a massive deal. But with the UK, no, there should just be like a more simple graph.
It'll be on
if
here.
You just go on like Google Images or something. This might.
That's gold price.
Yeah, just go on. See this. You see this blue line?
M2.
M2. Yeah, that's what they called this. What's the name of it? Quantitative easing. It's called.
Okay.
This is not really giving us a clear picture. Go on Google Images. I'm sure there was some.
Money stock.
Yeah. So here.
This is it. Yeah.
So if you see, this is like 2008 came, carried on printing, and a big spike in 2011. Printing, and a massive spike in 2020.
Fucking hell.
So from 2006 to 2020, there were just under. Would you say just under 7 billion?
Yeah, about
US
just at the
dollars.
midway point there. Yeah.
Now there are seven
7,000.
trillion.
So that'd be trillion then, yeah. Would it? Yeah. No.
Or is it 70 trillion?
I don't know.
But anyway, since 2006, it's more than tripled. The money supply in the US has more than tripled. I think a trillion is 100 billion.
Yeah, it is.
Or is it 1,000
It's
billion?
not, it's 1,000 billion. So this is 6 trillion. That is then.
Yeah, so just under 7 trillion in 2006. In 2020, it's 19 trillion.
Yeah, 100 billion. Then you go to a trillion. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's multiplied by 3 times since 2006, which is fucking insane, to be fair. They've printed in 2020. They printed since 2020. They printed about 4 trillion USD
from here.
Yeah.
So that's from about 5.5, 15.5. Sorry.
Yeah. So about 17.
Yeah, 17.
Oh, so it's about
2.5
trillion. Or 1.5 trillion.
That's insane how much they printed, and if you look at it on this chart in from COVID.
Yeah, and then no one's really mentioning that is the effect that this has on inflation.
Yeah, that's what I found wild, that it's not that Financial Times haven't covered it in this article. That does need some looking into though.